So, over in the States, San Diego Comic-Con has started, and they've had a Doctor Who panel over there, so lots of news has been released, lots of announcements and press releases tied in to coincide with that panel, so they can all be released globally, worldwide. So there's been loads of new Doctor Who Series 11 news over the past couple of hours. Now in this video I'm just going to round up all the news we've had, because there has been loads. It's been an absolute overload of Doctor Who news, to be honest. And I'm just going to give my thoughts on everything as well, just to reflect on all these announcements, all these bits of news about the new series, and what this means for the new version of the show, really. So before the Doctor Who panel started, there were some little snippets of news that came through. I believe these were from a press conference that the cast and executive producers were giving. One of the first things we learned was that the new series will be made up of 10 standalone adventures, so no two-part stories. Each of them is just going to be standalone, apparently. Now, to what extent this will be hasn't been made clear. I reckon there probably will be a story arc going across all the episodes, but I think the main point is that there won't be one overarching story like in Broadchurch, say. Each episode is going to feature new characters and monsters and locations aside from the regular cast, which will be constant throughout, I suppose. And there's also going to be new writers, so not just Chris Chibnall. There are other writers writing for the series, and apparently it's going to be slightly like a cross between an English and American writing model, I believe. So there was some truth to that rumour about there being a kind of writer's room with writers collaborating, I think. But again, to what extent this will be hasn't been made entirely clear. We've also had confirmation of a Christmas special. This was basically confirmed when the director put it on his CV a week or two ago, I think. But we've had confirmation as well from Chris Chibnall himself. We've also learned that there will be few returning characters or monsters in the new series. Mostly new monsters, new characters, new settings. The emphasis is definitely on the word new and making this version of the show as accessible as possible to new viewers, so that you can jump on with Series 11 if you've never watched Doctor Who before, basically. And interestingly, apparently the Daleks won't be featuring this year. Even the Daleks, one of the most famous Doctor Who monsters. So that just goes to show, I suppose, how radically different Series 11 might be to previous series. It is a very radical change, and it might be somewhat disappointing to old fans, I think, long-term fans, that there won't be as many ties to old episodes and old series. But to me, really, that doesn't make Series 11 any less exciting, and I think really we can only hope that these new characters and new monsters are going to be well written enough to sustain the series without, having to rely on the old ones. And that's my only concern, that these new monsters will be good enough to sustain their own stories. But, there's no reason why not. Imagine this was Doctor Who again in 1963, a brand new show. We don't know what we're going to expect. There's going to be new monsters, new characters, etc. And there's no reason why why it's not going to be really great and really exciting, and no reason why these new characters and monsters aren't going to work. So, whilst it's a bold move to have fewer ties to the past, especially given, recent series, recent years when there have been more ties to the past, I have every faith in Chris Chibnall and his team that this will work, I think. So after this, we then had the Doctor Who panel itself, and this was a really exciting time, really, really exciting. I was just there, on my phone, on Twitter, refreshing the app all the time to look for updates on the hashtag Doctor Who, and from the live coverage on the BBC America Doctor Who Twitter page. They were tweeting stuff out, and various other people as well. And obviously the main reveal from this panel was the first trailer from the series to actually feature footage from the episodes themselves. We've had the specially shot trailer that came on Sunday, but this was the first one to feature footage from the episodes. Now, in many ways, I was more excited by this trailer than the previous one. Even though it doesn't reveal too much more about the series, it showed the cinematic scope, I think, of the new series, and it gave you a flavour. So whilst there were no monsters featured unusually, or the TARDIS exterior or the TARDIS interior, and whilst it mainly focused on the 4 recurring characters, I don't think that diminished the trailer in any way. I think it was still just as exciting. It was mostly just clips of the Doctor, Graham, Yasmin and Ryan. We had them all individually and then on a couple of occasions together as an iconic team. And they were against a variety of impressive looking landscapes. I must say that the visual effects and sets and location work there looks really, really stunning. And yeah, it didn't reveal too much about the series itself, but you know, it just did give you that flavour of what the series will be like, I think, and it was just enough. It was tantalising, but didn't give anything away. So there were no monsters featured at all, which is quite unusual, I think, for a Doctor Who trailer. There's no aliens, you know, very few guest characters, one or two there in the background, but as I say, it mainly focused on the recurring cast. And there was no TARDIS exterior featured or TARDIS interior, but that is understandable, I think. And you know, that's all still to come, really. This is just the beginning of the Series 11 coverage. The team have been playing their cards very close to their chest over the past few months whilst filming has been going on, and it's starting to pay off. We're starting to get little snippets of information. They're really trying to whet our appetite, you know, and just give us the tiniest snippets and teasers. And I have to say, it's working. I think they're doing a very, very good job. And it's going to make the series much more exciting, I think, by building up all these little snippets and snippets, these tiny details, until we finally reach the series itself and the episodes themselves. And hopefully they'll be all the more rewarding for the wait, I think. And I love the Doctor's dialogue in this trailer as well. All of this is new to me. New faces, new worlds, new times. It's just so obviously, you know, it's the Doctor, but it's also Jodie Whittaker speaking there, I think. I think it's safe to say that. And, you know, it just reflects the fact that this is a new era for the show. It's new to Jodie and the team. You know, the first time we've had a female Doctor, that's completely new. It's a risk they're taking, and it's going to be new to the audience as well, new to long-term fans that are perhaps a little resistant to that change, and new to new viewers that have never watched the show before, or they have watched the show before, but they're going to be returning to the show, and they're going to be interested to see what this new era will be like. And yeah, it's a very clever line, I think, to use in the trailer, just to convey that and get that across. So obviously it's the 13th Doctor speaking, but it's also Jodie Whittaker speaking. It's also speaking to the audience on another level, as well as the Doctor getting used to her new incarnation. And then another note about the trailer is that it seems to confirm one of the first guest cast members for the series. It's not an official announcement by any means, but I've been eagle-eyed and I spotted in one of the last frames, it comes just before the tagline, "The universe is calling." And if you look on the right of that frame, there's someone standing next to the Doctor, and that, I believe, is the actor Sean Dooley, who I recognised from his role as Ricky Gillespie in Broadchurch Series 2, which of course was written by Chris Chibnall, so it doesn't seem that far-fetched after all, you know. And then I looked on Sean's Twitter page, and he's actually tweeted the trailer, so that would appear to confirm his casting, I think. As I say, it's not an official announcement, but just a little eagle-eyed detail, a little eagle-eyed spot. And I have to say, it's interesting now that, as fans, you know, we're having to look for these details. They're not being spoon-fed to us in press releases and announcements. It's all being kept very close, you know, to the team's chest. And we're having to sneakily work these things out, which I kind of like, you know, that we're not just being spoon-fed. We're not just being told everything about the series. It's one of those things where it's going to be more rewarding to watch these things play out when the series is broadcast. But little details like this, it's nice to notice them, and it's nice to have these little tantalising glimpses into the series, you know, looking at what he's been in before and then trying to work out how his new character in Doctor Who might be like that old character, or otherwise, definitely. So that's another little interesting spot. The other massive news from the panel was the reveal of the 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. It featured briefly in the trailer with the Doctor holding it out in a traditional kind of Sonic pose, as well as in a new promotional image released this evening, which I must say has some serious Assassin's Creed vibes. I've not played that game myself, but with the hood, you know, it looks quite startling there. But moving on, A toy version has also been confirmed, distributed in the USA by 720, and character options in the UK. So, the new Sonic, what do I think of it? Well, admittedly, I had actually seen it very briefly already when some images were leaked from the new series a few weeks ago, one of them containing the 13th Doctor holding what appeared to be the new sonic screwdriver. But nevertheless, it's nice to finally get a good look at the design. I love how it was revealed, firstly in the trailer and then with Jodie actually having the prop there and lifting it up in the convention hall, and then that image was basically shown on the screen so that the whole audience got a good look at the new Sonic design. It was a really unique way of revealing it, I think. So yeah, it's an interesting design, I think. It's not my absolute favourite yet, but I don't strongly dislike it. I think it's a nice design, and I like how it appears to fit into the crystal aesthetic of Series 11 that we've seen in the vortex of the clip revealing the new logo, and little bits of merchandising and imagery like that. So it appears to kind of fit in to the general aesthetic of the series. It does also make me wonder what the TARDIS interior of the new Doctor might be like, and how that will work, because traditionally the sonic screwdriver and TARDIS designs have been closely linked. There's been cohesion there to make them both believable and to make them work together as design pieces, So perhaps the time rotor of the new TARDIS might be quite crystalline, I don't know really. The image released of the Doctor with the Sonic, some people have pointed out there are bits of patterns and imagery and shapes there that could possibly occur in the TARDIS interior design. With regards to the TARDIS design, I just think it'll be very colourful, to reflect the 13th Doctor's personality and her costume, which features many colours, and then the Sonic as well. And perhaps there'll be an element of this crystalline design in there. And it's also been revealed by Chris Chibnall that there's an interesting story behind how the Doctor comes across this Sonic. There have been rumours that she might even build it herself, and a shot in the trailer of the Doctor with a blowtorch-like kind of device would appear to suggest that perhaps, she will be building the Sonic, forging it herself maybe somehow. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see whether this is the case or not, as with everything Series 11 related, So, what do you make of all this Series 11 news? What do you think of the new Sonic, the new trailer, the new promotional images? Be sure to post your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you a lot for watching this video, it means a lot to me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like the video as well. And I'll see you soon for some more Doctor Who videos on this channel, either for my ongoing series, The Best of Doctor Who, looking back at each of the Doctor's eras so far, or for the next bit of Series 11 news, whenever that might be released. So, thanks again for watching, and goodbye for now, guys.